Today we review economics. So it's all about money. Okay. So when we hear the word economics, we should think money. It has to do with everything money. All right. So prices, how much money things cost, jobs, how people make money. Those are all part of economics. Okay. And we may hear something like a country's economy is strong. That means that they have lots of money. That means that they are making lots of goods and services that they can sell for money. All right. You also might hear that an economy is weak or there's a bad economy. That means that there's not enough money going around. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's jump right into what you need to know. Why do people sell goods and services? How do people create goods and services? And how are prices decided? These are some basic questions we want to be able to answer. But first, we need to go into this idea of goods and services. Okay, so the hamburger, the kite, the boots, the stapler, these are all examples of goods. These are actual things that you can buy and sell. All right. Services are like this painter, this barber, this mechanic. Services are things that you do for people. Okay. It's also part of the economy. You still make money doing that, but it's not going to be an actual thing that you sell. All right. It's a service. It's something you do for people. Okay. So we have goods and services. So when we look at the economy, we basically have 2 points of view. You have the point of view of the producer, the people who provide goods and services, and consumers, the people who use goods and services. Examples of producers are farmers, they create food, factory workers who create things, hairdressers who provide a service, right? Haircuts and hair styling. And consumers, well, that's going to be all of us, okay? Because we all need to use food, shelter, clothing, all those things. We all have to consume, all right? So we're all consumers. So let's look at it from the point of view of the producer first. Your goal is to create a good or service to sell to consumers. You need three things: natural resources, human resources, and capital resources. So natural resources are things that come from nature and are used by humans. The human resources are your workers that will then take that natural resource and make it into a product. And your capital resources are everything else, basically. Your tools and the machines and the buildings that you use to turn your natural resources into products that you can sell. All right. So let's look at an example to help you understand these. All right. So say you want to go into the business of sugar. All right. So you need natural resources, human resources, and capital resources to make sugar that you can sell. Natural resources, what do you need? Sugar cane. All right. It's the plant that sugar comes from. Human resources. Well, here we have a sugar refinery. And you see this guy and that guy and these guys here. Well, the thing is, they're humans. All right. And they're workers. All right. And they're the human resources that are turning sugar cane into sugar. Okay. Also, we have our capital resources in the same picture. See these machines that they're using? This is actually a giant filter to get all the junk out of the sugar. So this turns to this. All right. And then see this big building they're working in. The business owner who's making this into this had to pay for this building and for these machines. That's their capital resources. And what about this guy? They got to pay a truck driver to actually take the products that they make in the refinery here and take it to the store so someone can actually buy it. Okay? So these are the things that the producer needs to get goods and services on the market to consumers. So let's review a little bit. This is the cost. These are all the costs that they have to pay before they make any money. And it's also like the risk, because if they don't make money, this is all the money they lose trying to start this business. So they had to pay for natural resources, right? Hefty sum. They had to pay for human resources. Maybe they don't pay them that well, so they don't have to pay that much. They have to pay for capital resources, okay? Another hefty sum. But then you see that, well, we talked about them making money. That's the reason they do it, is to make money, right? And all you see here is them spending money. So let's go to them making money. So they're going to sell it in different markets, okay? So maybe one's a supermarket. Maybe one market is restaurants that they'll sell to. Maybe another one is going to be another country or another chain of supermarkets. So they're selling in Save-A-Lots, and that's one market. Now they're selling in Winn-Dixie, and that's another market, okay? A market is anywhere that producers can sell their goods. Well, if they sell their goods, and they'll make a bunch of money, and they may make the same amount of money back. But the goal is to make extra money, to make more money than you spent. So in this situation, our sugar producer spent this much and made this much. So they just broke even. They just made back as much as they spent. But the goal is to make money. So you want to find new markets and sell more than you need to just to break even so that you make extra money. That extra money that you make is called a profit. Okay? That is why businesses go into business, is to make the profit. Another thing you need to remember, when you're a business person selling your sugar, other businesses will try to sell their goods in these markets too. So in order to make a profit, to make sure that you're selling enough, a business must compete and try and win over customers. All right. So competition is when businesses try and win over customers. So you should probably be asking at this point, where do producers get the money to start a business? If we go back, look at all this money they had to spend before they ever made any money. So where do they get that money? Well, businessman says the bank. All right? The banks are businesses for holding, borrowing, and exchanging money. So a bank is a place that looks after people's money for them and keeps it safe. It also lends money to people to help them buy things like houses. Okay? And also business owners can get loans, which means they borrow money, and those loans can help pay for them to get their business started, to pay those natural capital and human resources so they can then try and start making money. Now, if you look for a picture of a bank, you may see a little cartoonish one like this, but that's not really what you see in real life. So you see like Bank of America, Chase, things like that, okay? Now let's go back to the consumer's point of view. Consumers need to make enough money to buy all the things they need and save some. So they get all the things they need, and then they also have money left over to save. That's their goal. So they need to do two things to do that. They need to get a job so they can make some money and buy all the things that you need just so you can survive, right? Your food, your clothes, your home. So to get a good job, it's important to have an education and skills, okay? So if you have one person that never finished high school and another person that finished high school, who do you think businessman is going to hire? Probably the person that finished high school, because they showed that they can get started on something and finish something. They can commit and do work. All right. So you need to show that you are a hard worker. You need to show that you have skills, and that's what a consumer is going to have to do. Number two, they have to buy all the things that they need. All right. In a market, you have different choices. You must make wise choices to buy all the things you need and save some more than you need. All right. Many people keep a budget to keep track of the money they spend. All right. So a budget is a way of keeping track of how much money you're making and how much money you're saving. So you know when you're not saving enough and you're spending too much. Okay. So just a quick review. Goods are things that people use. Services are things you do for people. Consumers use goods and services, and producers provide goods and services. And a bank is a business that holds and loans money. So I want you to think about the bank, because the bank is important to producers and to consumers. All right. The bank can loan money to businesses who want to start a business, and also to consumers who need to buy more goods, want to buy a house. They need money to spend too. Okay. So a bank is good for everyone there. One more thing to talk about: supply and demand. All right. Supply is how much of something you have. Demand is how much people want it. So let's talk about po' boys. All right. So if you have a large supply of po' boys, but a small demand, meaning not very many people willing to spend money on it, then the price of po' boys is going to go low. There's just not enough to go around. Look, not much money, a lot of products, high supply, low demand is going to be low prices. But if you have more money and less po' boys, and that's more people wanting to spend money on less po' boys, so then your prices are going to go up. More money on less po' boys, okay? So to review, high supply is a low price, low supply is a high price, okay? Well, I think that pretty well sums up economics for now, all right? That should be all the tools you need to be successful. You're going to practice with some flashcards. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.